Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TFE, a weekly news update show covering movies, games, and tech filled with thoughts, feelings, emotions from your two hosts, Dan and Danny. In this week's episode, Southpark will never end, horses don't like sumo ass, and money from your poop. But first of all, we're going to go into our movie news of Stream That Movie News into my head.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with a French trailer.
Yes.
Called White as Snow. And I do question why we put this here, because I'm watching this trailer and not understanding a single thing. What's happening?
Well, it's Snow White, I imagine, but different, but maybe lesbian, maybe not lesbian, maybe rather than... I don't know, this trailer
that is the problem with this trailer, is that we have no idea what's going on, because neither of us speak French.
Yes. But it's got subtitles, so...
Yes, because that's what people want to read. Subtitles on the trailer.
So I'll read the description in the bio of this. Claire, a beautiful young woman, works at her late father's hotel that is now managed by her evil stepmother, Maud. Claire unwittingly sparks uncontrollable jealousy in Maud, whose young lover has fallen in love with Claire. Maud decides to get rid of Claire, who finds shelter in a farm where she is allowed to break free from her strict upbringing through encounters with 7 princes.
Huh.
So it's... and there's...
It sounds like a lot of sex, to be honest with you.
Well, there is a sex bit in the trailer where she's being railed against a fence. So, and yeah, I don't know. But this just seems like the snow... Because there's a bit where the animals come up on the hood of the car while she's trying to fuck a guy. And this just looks like R-rated Snow White, and I just thought it was funny.
It might as well be. Maybe they called it White as Snow just to avoid the Disney lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. But it
Although I
does
imagine
look like
Disney will still try to lawsuit this, and everyone will go, "Oh, Disney, do you think R-rated content belongs to you?" And then Disney will go, "Never mind.
Yes.
I do not want this."
We'll put it on Star.
I don't think they want that.
No, but there's big heavy symbolism of the apple where like there's a shot just before.
There's a lot of Snow White, and I'm pretty sure even at the end it goes Snow White.
White as snow, probably.
Well, no, but it says like snow and then white and then put as in the middle.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's trying to be Snow White, but French and R-rated.
And steamy, because the French are always, so sexy, so steamy.
Well, it's just Europeans.
No, Dan, we're not European anymore, so hey.
I'm sorry to break this to you, but if you learn geography in school, we're still part of Europe.
Yeah, but we don't want to be the EU, so we don't count.
That's not how geography works.
That's how a lot of people think it does, though.
I know, and they're idiots. I've seen many people online saying, once again, we will be European one day. It's like, we're still European, lads and ladies. And
we're just not part of the EU.
Another gender?
But yeah, it's a weird thing, and I just saw it because I was like, oh, is they making a new Snow White movie? Well, they are technically, but it's just French and sexy.
If I'm honest, I'd rather see this type of Snow White film.
Oh, I'd imagine this would be better than the... Well, there's the Snow White and the Huntsman films, which aren't Disney, which has like Chris Hemsworth and Kristen Stewart in them and Charlize Theron. Yes. They're apparently terrible. But Disney has yet to actually make a live-action version of this at this current time. I think it's one of the ones they're going to do. So I'd be interested to see if this is a better film than the one Disney makes.
Maybe.
Because I imagine it would be.
I don't know if Disney actually owns Snow White, or is it kind of a grey area?
Well, it's one of those ones where it's copyrighted by Disney for the original film, and then if anyone tries to make it, they get sued by Disney because it's like, oh, your story can't be anywhere near this to what we do.
Yeah,
so
but it's more of a grey area to an extent because it's like,
yes,
you didn't really make this.
No, it was public domain. Disney copyrighted their version and then went after anyone who had a similar story that infringed on their version. Yeah. So you can make Snow White. That's why the Huntsman and the Snow White ones are so different comparatively to the story of Snow White, because they had to make it so different so that they wouldn't get sued by Disney for making it. So they can use all the characters, they just can't use the story that Disney told, because Disney copyrighted it pretty much.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, Disney loves to copyright things.
Yeah, and that's how they keep their copyrights, because they basically... That's why they're doing all the live-action remakes, because they get to keep their copyright. If they just make the movie the exact same, again... But in live action, they get to then copyright that story and just push it on. So when they lose the copyright to the original stories, they can just push it forward.
But copyrights are sort of difficult to uphold.
Yes, but Disney also changed copyright laws, so you don't think they'll change them again?
Yeah, true. Disney just wants to rule the world. One day, we will all bow down to the Lord Mouse.
Disney changed copyright laws so that it basically went from like 10, 20 years or something to 70 plus years after the person dies. And so Disney kept extending that after the death of what's-his-face, Walt Disney. Because Walt Disney changed copyright laws so that he could keep Mickey Mouse, basically. And all of the characters.
Although people do make mouse projects, and also Peppa Pig, you can argue, was just made as an opposite to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but it's not Mickey Mouse, which is why they can't sue it.
Yeah, that's the thing about a copyright. You just change the character, and all of a sudden it's not the same thing.
It's got to be detrimental to the brand, and it's got to be like it's not similar enough where it can't have like visual elements. I think it can have the same sort of story or something.
Yeah, you can have the exact same story, just in a fully different environment, and you can't do anything about it because
it's how Avatar
ideas and thoughts can't be copyrighted. A lot of the story, you can't copyright a story,
but characters and visuals, not visual, like character styles and everything.
Actually, what I should say is you can't copyright a plot. You can copyright a story.
Somewhat. Copyright law is
as in a story is in the exact script.
Yes,
that's what I mean. If you can copyright that script, you can't copyright the plot of the film because that's an idea, and you can't copyright ideas.
Yes.
That's what patents.
And speaking of ideas, Dan, the next movie on our list for trailers has some ideas about how to push the story further on from the last movie.
Yes, Venom Let There Be Carnage. The second trailer has dropped, and if I'm honest, I thought this was worse than the first trailer.
I liked this one, just because I liked the visual of Woody Harrelson getting torn apart by his Venom symbiote, whereas Venom's is a nice, clean, symbiotic relationship where it just covers him. Carnage's one just looks like it rips Woody Harrelson apart.
Yes, and I think in this trailer there is a bit more character development to Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, maybe a bit too much, because you don't want to have it all spoiled for you, but...
I am happy to see it's not just going to be a final act battle, and it's more going to be throughout the whole plot.
Yeah.
Which makes me a bit more engaged, where I think that was a big problem with the first Venom, was the end battle. There's only really an end battle. There wasn't anything leading up to it.
Well, it's not even really an end battle. It's just a bit of a punch-on, and then he just blows up a rocket ship.
Yeah, there's not too much action involved. I feel like this one is more of a full story.
This one, you'll be able to tell which one's which, because they won't be two CGI blobs of the same color. One will be red and have tentacles.
It's different color CGI blobs.
Yeah. One won't be dark grey and one won't be black. One will be red and one will be black.
I mean, I think I'm looking forward to this film either way.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite, most anticipated movies of this year.
Yeah, I had three anticipated movies. One being the Suicide Squad, Venom, and then Far From Home. Nope, No Way Home. Stupid naming scheme.
I like the naming scheme because it pisses people off, and that's what I love.
I still want Suicide Squad to have a stupid naming scheme as well. You have Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, and something like a Suicide Squad. Just something stupid.
B Suicide Squad. A, B, C, D Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad's ABCs.
The Suicide Squad's not doing that well, though, apparently.
No, it's not.
In terms of box office. Which is understandable. One, it's a R-rated, or at least
R-rated films never do that well.
Joker did, but that's because everyone loves the Joker.
Yes, and also Joker was to do with mental health.
Deadpool did it as well. Issues. Deadpool did well. It's just brand recognition, and people hated the first one of Suicide Squad so much that it's probably damaged that brand in Spinect. Like, a lot of people don't follow movie news. The people here on our lovely audience follows movie news because we give it to them, like the dirty whores that they are.
What? No, don't do
that. General audiences probably just go, oh, it's a continuation because they've got characters from the last movie, then it's going to be bad. And unless word of mouth, and people can't really go out to cinemas much now, and like, it's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it's just, it had a lot of cards stacked against it.
Yeah, I think, like you said, its reputation beforehand.
Reputation, convenience.
Warner Brothers, also on HBO Max.
The last couple DC movies have all been garbage, so why would people want to go watch them even if Suicide Squad was good?
Exactly.
They've lost faith in their audience. Audiences have lost faith in it.
Which is a bit of a shame, and I hope DC don't take this out on James Gunn, because I don't think this is anything to do with James Gunn's fault.
No, they're still working with James Gunn. He's got another project, apparently, with them at some point, after he's probably done Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Although I do think Warner Brothers will still sack him to an extent. I've just got a feeling Warner Brothers are such a bad company, I won't realise why it's done well, and I just think it's James Gunn's fault.
Well, I think they're looking at the HBO subscribers rather than the box office, because they probably think that they knew it was going to tank at the box office, so they're just probably going to look at the HBO subscribers and see if it jacks that up.
Yeah, I suppose so.
If it jacks up the numbers high enough, they'll probably give him something else. If it doesn't, they'll probably still give him something just because they want to keep directors now, because they've done such a bad job of keeping directors.
Yeah, it's true. But talking about things returning, Star Wars The Bad Batch is returning for season 2. The TV show we've not actually watched.
Yes, but it's Star Wars news, and that's all.
That's all that matters. Is it's Star Wars.
I've heard that the Bad Batch is all right. Not great, not as good as Clone Wars, but it does all right. And having never watched either of them, Clone Wars or The Bad Batch, and only really watching The Mandalorian as a TV show from Star Wars, congratulations.
Yes,
May there
congratulations
be more
to the Bad
characters. May there be more Star Wars that I don't watch.
Maybe one day there'll be an infinite amount of Star Wars episodes that you will never watch.
There will be, Dan. We've got all those TV shows that are coming out.
I will
But I'll
watch
probably
most
watch
of them.
most of them. Yep.
As long as it's not cartoons, I'll probably watch it. Unless it's an
Oh,
R-rated
oh,
cartoon.
They'll never do R-rated Star
Absolutely
Wars.
not. Why would they ever do that?
They should, though. That would be great. Like, imagine if The Mandalorian was R-rated, and it was like The Boys, where it was just violent blood.
That would be fantastic. I would love that show even more.
If they do Boba Fett, that would be good.
They should find one character and just do that character as R-rated. Similar to Marvel's got Deadpool.
Yeah.
You just have one character R-rated.
Speaking of R-rated, Dan, South Park.
Yes, the
that's
never-ending TV show.
Yes. Well, now, basically, South Park has now had the creators May and Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Fuck, their names always confuse me. Have signed a deal which calls for the pair to develop 14 movies together with a new game and more seasons at Comedy Central. So they signed it with Paramount to get basically this deal for $900 million. So close
That's
to
so
$1
much
billion.
money.
Yep. And consider this, Dan. They got paid by HBO $500 million for the exclusive streaming rights of South Park on HBO Max for a short amount of time.
How popular is South Park? Am I just unaware? Am I that uncultured that I don't know how popular South Park is?
Oh, South Park is insanely popular. So this will be going for the 30th season into 2027. So 6 more years.
So it's now a race. Who's going to finish first? Is it going to be South Park or is it going to be The Simpsons?
Well, now that Disney owns The Simpsons, it will never end.
There's still a rumored Simpsons movie 2 somewhere down the line.
Yeah, that is true. So the entire South Park library is currently streaming on HBO Max, except for the 5 of the show's most controversial episodes. The 23rd season of South Park aired in 2019, but has been on hiatus ever since due to the COVID-2019 pandemic. Apart from 2 hour-long specials, last October's pandemic special and the vaccination special, both of which I have watched, and that's the last of the South Park that I've watched since, 2010.
Wow.
No, I never hated the show. I just couldn't ever watch it because it was on Comedy Central, and I didn't have Comedy Central. So it was just, without the rise of streaming services and other things, I haven't watched it, and I've not gone back to watch all of it.
That is true. And I don't know how most of the public feel about streaming services, but I do prefer it to conventional TV.
Yeah. So I can watch it all on Amazon and Netflix if I wanted to, because I think a certain amount of the seasons are on Netflix, and then the other amount of the seasons are on Amazon Prime. So if I wanted to, I can go back and watch all of South Park again.
But there is a lot of episodes.
Oh, yeah. It's
and it will
23
take you
seasons.
probably a year to watch all of them you need to watch.
Yeah, and I'm currently working my way through Yu-Gi-Oh! That's got a lot of fucking episodes in the season. It's 40 fucking episodes a season.
Well, I
crazy.
do need to find a new TV show to watch. So maybe I'll do South Park. Probably won't. There is too many episodes.
South Park is a great show from what I remember, and its episode cycle is a week, so they can pump out an episode in a week, which means they can keep up to date with all the topical trends and stuff if they want to. So that's why they had all of Donald Trump being mocked in the show during. For 4 years, they kept up to every up-to-date thing with Donald Trump. They kept up with all the Disney stuff. They kept up with all the weed pandemic stuff like that. So that their turnover for the show is incredible.
they're doing well. They've got a good work ethic, and they want
Yeah.
to keep the fans happy and just keep putting out episodes.
The thing that I find good about this is they're scheduled to do 14 movies, but that's not only South Park. So we might get a Team America 2. Which
I
would
don't
be
know what
sick.
that is.
It's puppets, Dan, and it's America, Dan. Do you know the America Fuck Yeah song?
Yes.
America Fuck Yeah, that's Team America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's from Team America. It's basically
not know
puppets. There's puppets in a sex scene, Dan, where they just fuck, and it's just puppets smashing against each other.
What?
Matt Damon's in it as a puppet, and he
Matt
goes,
Damon.
Matt Damon! Matt Damon! That is Matt Damon.
Is that as well? Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. There's so many references.
Watch
like Borat.
Team America World Police, Dan. Look it up. Look up Team America World Police, and you'll know what I'm talking about from screenshots. It's also got Kim Jong-il, because Kim Jong-un wasn't in power at the time of the movie came out. And it's basically America going in and blowing up a bunch of stuff and claiming they're good, and it's got a load of racist stuff in it because that's South Park and their humor. And it's just basically going how shit America is, but Americans love it because it's America. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
But I want another movie because it's fucking great, and it still probably holds up, even though I haven't watched it in ages.
Well, continuing on with new products.
Keep going. Sequels.
Thank you. New sequels. Chronicle sequel
to it.
will feature female-led characters.
Yeah, have you watched Chronicle?
I have not, and I've also not heard of it.
So Chronicle is a movie that is basically got Dane DeHaan, Michael B. Jordan, and another guy, and they find a hole with a meteor or something in it, and then it gives them superpowers, and it's a found footage film. So basically it's one kid's descent into becoming a villain, and another dude's ascent into becoming a hero. And it's basically it's
like
about a kid who gets
superheroes, or?
bullied. Yeah, it's superheroes. But it's basically a kid gets bullied and has like a camera and he films his life and everything. And he gets bullied, his dad's abusive and all of that stuff. And his slow twist into becoming a villain because he gets powers and then he starts turning and he tries to start using his powers on people. But yeah, it's a very good movie. And it's like a found footage horror film. It's on Disney Plus, I think, because once Disney bought the rights to it, you can watch it on that, I think.
Disney, like I said, Disney will conquer the world on streaming and TV. Everything will be Disney.
But it's a good movie. And the reason I found this is because I just wanted it. I didn't ever think they'd do a sequel. And I don't really care if it's a female lead. It's a found footage thing. You can do whatever you want with it.
Based on the premise of what you told me, I don't feel like a sequel is going to do well.
Oh no, it's a very niche movie. It didn't do that well. It's like a Cloverfield. You know the Cloverfield like found footage thing from the first Cloverfield?
I've heard of it. It rings a bell.
Yeah, well the first Cloverfield is a found footage movie, the Blair Witch Project. That sort of found footage style where the camera follow. And the good thing about, because he's got telekinetic powers, he can have the camera behind him. So when he does his little filming stuff, the camera like follows him like it's so it's got very interesting visual style because you can play around with it and you can move the camera in such a way that a normal traditional found footage movie wouldn't be able to do because he's got telekinetic powers, so you can like have it whip around him. There's a big fight scene near the end where the camera is following him continuously and it's just flying through the air like he does. It's a very good film.
It sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, I'd say give it a watch if you got time. It's quite old. It's from like 2012 or something like that. Or before that.
It's mad that 2012 is now an old film.
Yeah. It's not even 10 years, like 12 years. No, 12 years, 9 years.
I still can't believe it's 9 years. 2012, Avengers. It feels like a couple years ago, Avengers.
Yeah, 2012 Chronicle. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. It's an hour and 25 minutes, so quite a short film.
Well, that's our movie news done for this week. But we've got Why Does This Exist coming up. And for this week, we are questioning, why does the Donald Trump supporter cards exist? So Donald Trump now wants all of his supporters to carry cards to say they support Donald Trump.
Yep. The Trump card, as you would. Or the top Trump card. Yeah, this is basically Donald Trump wants his supporters to carry a Trump card. Trump's PAC sent two emails on Wednesday asking supporters to get on board with carrying the red and gold cards, which look like credit cards and bear the former president's signature. The cards you select will be carried by patriots all around the country, the first email said. They will be a sign of your dedication, support to our movement to save America, and I'm putting my full trust in you. Yep.
Yeah, it seems stupid. Donald Trump once again trying to just start a civil war.
Well, the thing I found funny about this is someone said that, you know how we've got vaccination cards and it shows all the people who are smart and have vaccines?
Yes.
Then all the opposite people will be carrying Trump cards, so you'll know who isn't vaccinated because they'll have a Trump card instead of a
Although a lot of people
vaccination.
getting angry about the vaccine cards, saying it's against freedom of speech and free
Well,
will.
they'll have a Trump card, Dan.
But that's not against freedom. That's for freedom.
Also, I'm pretty
Remember that.
sure you can't have the presidential seal on.
It's
'cause
Trump.
One of them's got. I know, but I don't think you can legally have it for profit. So if you're profiting off something, you can't use if you're an ex-president, you can't have the seal on your merch because you're not president at that time, or you can't have the president's seal being used as profitable. So one
I'm
of the
just
cards
thinking.
has.
How did Trump actually become president? It's like Alan Sugar in our country.
Facebook,
Yeah, you're right. For social media, but it's still stupid.
social media.
That man
memes.
should have never been president.
Oh yeah, you should have been indicted.
And to be
ages
fair,
ago.
neither should Joe Biden.
Oh no.
Neither
But-
of them should be.
No, it is the best of the worst, but then America gave themselves the best of the worst options because they didn't elect anyone better for the position to fight against Donald Trump. So they elected two old men to go to fight against each other.
Stupidest thing ever.
Oh yeah, American politics is fucked up. And don't forget, we also have fucked up politics in this country.
Yeah, but
So
ours
we're,
is a little bit different.
we're not as powerful as America. We used to be, but we're not anymore.
Well, in our country, you don't vote for the prime minister.
No, you vote for the parties and then the party has the
Well, you vote for your
votes.
MP.
Yeah.
Which is your
And then
local
they-
constituency. So you have no say in who's going to be the prime minister.
Yeah, but we at least get to push people in the right direction who would then elect someone that you'd like, basically.
Yes, that is exactly how ours works. Because at the end of the
It's-
day, voters should not be able to decide their leaders quite clearly.
No, we shouldn't. Although I don't think Boris Johnson would have gotten elected if people did have a chance to vote against him.
No, because every single time everyone's so different minded in our country, there would never be a what's it called?
Prime Minister
There would never be a majority.
decision. Yeah,
It would always be a coalition, which is not good for Parliament at any
Depends.
point. Coalition is the worst
Oh.
thing for any Parliament. Whoever's in charge.
yeah,
Never works.
Yeah.
Because it takes forever
Oh,
to
no.
do anything.
yeah. But maybe the decision would have been good. Who knows? Politics, stupid.
Politics sucks, and we don't really want to talk about it apart from if it's Trump, because Trump is worth talking about how much an idiot he is.
Yes. And as everyone says, bad publicity is good publicity. So we could be doing ourselves a disservice by talking about it.
That's true. I think we should just forget about Trump, forget he exists, and go on to we've lost the control of the newser.
Yes.
And Sony reportedly wants to focus on console quality AAA games for their PSVR 2.
So what this basically means is that similar to what's the game? Resident Evil 7, where basically the full game is playable in VR but also out of VR.
Yes.
So they're basically considering just having all of their first party games or other games or trying to get developers to make their full length games, AAA titles that are first person, I imagine, VR capable, so that they can just have the option to be played on PlayStation VR if they wanted to. And I imagine that's because they're bringing out their PSVR 2, which has had some leaks about the specs, and then other leaks that are apparently better specs than the specs that have leaked. So who knows what the specs are until Sony tells us, but it's looking promising.
Yes, it is. I mean, this also does show that Sony's very serious about the VR route, and I think we're starting to see a bit of more of a shift between Sony and Xbox. Or
Yes,
I should say between
Xbox.
PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, so
PlayStation wants to go to the VR route, and Xbox wants to go to the game streaming route.
Well, Sony wants the gimmick route, I imagine. Like the peripherals, the headsets, the immersion, whereas Xbox is going for because the VR controller is all about
Xbox?
convenience, probably. Yeah. Xbox is convenience, PlayStation is immersion.
Yes.
So because the PlayStation VR control, PlayStation 5 controller is all about how it immerses
feels.
you in the how it feels, like all the feedback and all the like you pull the trigger on the gun and it feels like pulling a trigger on a gun. You're walking across sand and you feel the sand beneath your fingertips.
I still want to try that one day. I want to try this.
I really enjoy it. It's really good. if you ever want to test it out fully when you get it, it gives you the Astro's Playroom game.
Yeah.
And that's the best showcase of what that controller can do, just because it's specifically designed to do it and showcase it. And then it just depends on what the developers choose to do with it. Because like COD has some feedback from what I've heard. I
believe the triggers now work on COD.
I think so. All of the Sony first-party games use the controller very well. It's third parties that need to start embracing it and using it for a lot of things. Destiny does have it, but it's not as well utilized as I'd like it to be. I wish they would do individual like feedback for different guns, whereas at the moment it's just doesn't have a feel to it. That's the only downside.
I think there's a bit of a problem though, trying to Sony to get all the game developers to do it. It's the fact game developers don't want to do it because it takes time to do it.
Oh yeah, and
the
if you
port just for that console.
Yeah.
And you have to add additional features like texture and how.
Which is why Sony would probably end up paying.
Yes, I imagine that is what has happened. Other things they can do is that Sony can create APIs and give those to game engines and say, look, here's the API on how to use our controller.
Yeah, and other stuff like that. And yeah, that is interesting. I'm just looking forward to Sony finally announcing the PlayStation VR 2 because I really enjoyed the first iteration. I haven't used it in a while just because I haven't had the space to. Once I finally get space, I'm going to hopefully be able to set it up and do some stuff because it's really good for exercise and stuff like that. To be able to just have, like, because you don't think about it, whereas when you're exercising, you think about it. Whereas if you play, like, a VR extensive game, like Beat Saber or something like that, where you're just whipping and smashing
I love
things.
Beat Saber.
You're actually Beat Saber's a great game. And then, like, shooters and stuff where you're just moving your body and you're not thinking about exercising. It's apparently really good.
Yeah, I mean, I do like VR, and I would say that is the biggest downside, is that there's no AAA games.
Yeah, the biggest games, I think, for VR are that Half-Life Alyx game, which is like the Half-Life 2 free game that everyone was kind of clamoring for, but then that's apparently the best experience on VR because it's like for the Valve Index or whatever, the HTC Vive one. And that's like fully built up, fully immersive, full game. Whereas a lot of them are like tech demos, or like quite short, or just kind of you're in one room and you stand about. Whereas that's one where you actually go and explore around the area, and it's like highly polished.
Do you think Sony will ever create like a walkabout machine that you can have as a VR accessory?
No, I don't think so. That'd be too expensive for them. If they did, they'd probably buy out another company already working on it.
Yeah,
just so they save the.
I would love to use one though. Have a walkabout machine in VR.
Yeah, they're like little harness things around your waist, and then you just run on like a treadmill sort of surface, and then it just kind of goes around. They're interesting.
It is cool.
I don't know how good they are. There's apparently shoes you can buy which kind of stilter your movement, or when you step forward, they push you back so you can walk in place. So there's like little wheels, and you can wear like shoes, and they got little motors and wheels on the bottom. So when you step forward, they bring you back. So it's kind of like you're walking.
It is interesting to see how far it will go.
I'm wondering when they'll ever do gloves, like touch-sensitive gloves. That's the way that you'll know. Like,
you pick up an item and then you feel it in your fingers.
Yeah, like the haptic controllers on your PlayStation controller, but the sensors, like it sends like a little electric shock to twist your hand so it clutches.
So yeah,
like
that. But I suppose like you can start grabbing, but then there'd be like motors inside that stopped you grabbing any further.
Yeah,
or like little
electric
shock.
shock.
This. Like I'm grabbing objects.
Yeah, and then the haptic feedback chest plates or whatever they have, where you can feel the bullets shooting into you. Like that would be cool.
Imagine playing COD would be eventually.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe it will be that. But that could be the future of gaming. I suppose that's the only way it can go now, is immersion. What else can they do?
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. And speaking of immersion, Dan, we're going on to Nintendo.
Yes, we are going to Nintendo. And the Switch's calculator, you know, the one that costs like 10 quid to buy?
Yep.
It's being outdone by a battle calculator.
A new competitive multiplayer calculator game.
Yep. Have you ever wanted to compete in a calculator game? Well, now you can.
So what this is basically gives you a number, and then you can battle against three other people to see who can get that number the fastest. So it's like 550. Yeah, like 559, and then you have to do calculations, and then I think if you do more complex calculations to get that number, you get more points. But I just saw this and I thought it was funny, because it's like, also I think it's less money than the normal calculator from Nintendo.
Actually, it is more.
Cost. Oh, is it?
Yeah, normal
calculator. $14.99. Oh, there we go.
Wow, the normal calculator is £8, but then the battle calculator is $14.99. I don't know why this source has decided to mix dollars and pounds, but who knows?
What's that in pounds? Dollars.
Probably about £10.
So $14.99, yeah.
Yes.
£10.80.
Ah, look at that. That's pretty close.
So it's only £2.80 more expensive. But this time you get to battle your friends to work out math problems.
True, it's more useful. I would say I would rather have this one than the £8 one.
See, that would have been fucking great at school if you had you could have the teacher put up a maths question and then all the students battle it out to see who can solve it the fastest.
Imagine if that was exams. Exams now are just who can battle questions quickest, and whoever can solve the questions the quickest wins.
Or the Asian people. That is a racist joke. I am sorry.
Yes, we should not laugh at that. That is disgraceful.
Some Asians can be stupid.
Repent for your sins right now.
I should probably talk because otherwise that awkward silence is going to get cut out when we edit this.
Yes, it will be completely cut out. And right now it has been cut out. So all of you listeners are unaware.
All we get is the explanation of the awkward silence that isn't there. I love editing. It's great.
Yeah, because, we're so good at editing, and we definitely don't just shove it into a program, do a couple buttons, and then put out into Podbean.
Yep.
But moving on, let's go into some game news of the week. And we're going to start off with Fortnite, and Google is reportedly considering buying Epic.
Considered, not considered.
That's much more depressing.
Yes. So basically it came out during the Apple versus Epic lawsuit that Google apparently just tried buying Epic. Plans to get around Google's Play Store commissions and cognition, threatening the tech giant. Epic says Google persistent monopoly as a result of the deliberate efforts by Google to achieve and maintain it. Epic accuses Google of using its size, influence, and power and money to induce third parties into anti-competitive agreements that further entrench its monopolies. To prevent Epic from circumventing Google's alleged monopoly, the gaming company says that Google has even contemplated buying some of or all of Epic to squelch the threat. So, yeah, not a good thing, I guess.
No, that's true. I didn't actually read into this when I said I was disappointed. No, that's good.
Yeah. This is kind of like, hey, we don't want you fucking up our systems that we put in place to stop you from fucking up our systems. So if you don't try and stop fucking up our systems, we'll just buy you with all the money that we have and stop you by owning you. So, hey.
I suppose there's one way to get rid of your competition. That's what Apple did. They bought Beats.
That's what Amazon does and all that. Just buy up products and then just resell them as their own.
Yeah, get rid of competition. Win-win. Anyway, let's go on to PUBG. PUBG is now going to be called PUBG Battlegrounds. Oh no, it's actually already called PUBG Battlegrounds. So it now stands for Player Unknown Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds.
Yeah, so I can't wait to play PUBG Battlegrounds Player Unknown.
What?
Player Unknown's Battlegrounds Player Unknown. Or Unknown Player.
Or eventually it could be called Player Unknown PUBG Battlegrounds.
Yeah. I don't know why they did this. It seems weird to change PUBG to PUBG Battlegrounds.
They really just want Battlegrounds in the name, clearly.
Yeah, but it already has it, so it's them saying it twice. The name's so good they said it twice.
Yeah, but it's like PIN number. People say PIN number all the time as well, and SAT tests.
I say PIN. I don't say PIN number.
A lot of people say PIN number. They say, oh, what's your PIN number? And even on Google, a lot of times it says, enter your PIN number.
What's your personal identification number? Number.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, a lot of people say SAT tests.
Is that what PIN number stands?
Yes, personal
identification number. Yeah, I just guessed that. I don't think I've ever heard
You probably have heard it. You just sort of remembered it. And it does make sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Identification number.
So I suppose that's maybe the same reason. They just want to be a PIN number.
Maybe. I just find I don't play Player Unknown Battleground. I just never got into that one. Out of all the Battle Royale ones, I never got into that one.
Nah, me neither.
Yeah. What is the reasoning behind this? CraftCon.
I don't think there is a reasoning. They just thought, yeah, let's call it this.
So I think they're trying to expand their universe. So they've just rebranded it PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to PUBG Battlegrounds in a first step in the unrealizing this vision.
Making new games under
PUBG
us. Brand.
I'm reading that as that's us realizing this vision. Additional titles in the franchise will carry the PUBG name, as you see with the upcoming PUBG's New State. New State, by the way, is an upcoming mobile game that essentially a futuristic sequel to the PUBG mobile game. So basically, they're going to have it so that the Battlegrounds version is their Battle Royale version. Why not call it PUBG Battle Royale?
That would be smart, wouldn't it? Maybe you should contact them, see if you get some money from it. Never know. It's always worth a try.
Yes. And then PUBG Mobile is also going to be under that umbrella, and PUBG New State is going to be under that umbrella. And then any other future games will be under the umbrella of PUBG something.
Yes, that is why they're doing it, just so they can add more games under the same name.
PUBG.
Like COD. Call of Duty, they just keep it as different colon things. Although COD didn't go COD Duty.
I don't think I've ever heard someone call it PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I think I've only ever heard it.
It's because it's a long name. Who can be bothered to say PlayerUnknown Battleground every time they talk about the game? It's long. It's a mouthful.
But now I have to say, Dan, do you want to play PUBG Battlegrounds?
No, this will just get... If they do make more games, it will just get shown to Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds PlayerUnknown.
No, it will just be Battlegrounds.
Do you think you could change the fucking... Guppy. There we go. Grounds unknown player. I don't know.
Well, talking about controversial, do you remember that Blizard scandal where they did controversial decisions?
Yes. Sexual assault decisions.
Yes. I mean, I don't know why it's controversial, but...
You don't know why it was controversial, Dan.
Well, it's not really controversial, I suppose, now I think about it. Everyone had the same agreement.
Everyone has the same agreement. It's bad.
I suppose it's controversial within them.
Yeah, only cunts have the controversial opinion.
Yeah, and I just realised as I said it, I was like, hang on a minute, this isn't quite right, my transition right here. Anyway, Blizzard's president is out, and studio is going to be co-led by a woman for the first time in history, and Blizzard has also got rid of their head of HR.
Yep.
Good riddance.
So, yep, I get the one I thought was funny is the HR, because it's like, yeah, they should have been fired because the HR department was horrible, apparently.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. Like, HR department's the one to sort everything out.
Yeah, although HR departments aren't there to protect the employees, they're there to protect the company.
Yes, it is.
Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. It's meant to be the other way around, but a lot of the time, HR things are designed to...
However, ignoring all the sexual harassment claims is not helping the company, so they did fail at that one.
Yes, because they let it get out.
And it always would have.
Oh, yeah. I'm pissed that it took this long, and these people should have been fucked off a long time ago. But yeah, it's a good thing that finally a woman's going to have a chance to, like, help.
I mean, that is true. I think there should be more women in high, powerful areas. I think there will be in the future.
Oh, yeah. What they need to do is just have man, woman, black man, or black woman.
The trouble is...
Just have one of everything at the top. And then you can have a cohesive, loving relationship with all of them hating each other because that's how the world works. And then they can trickle it down to the benefits of all the employees because you'll have at least one person of each thing at the top.
Well, the trouble is...
That's how companies should be run.
At the minute, but they're changing, is that more men are qualified for high-powered jobs than women are.
But Dan, that's because most women don't get pushed into the careers and the positions.
Exactly, yeah. I'm saying, like, if you look at, like, kind of...
It's a problem with the system, not...
If you look at sort of childhood, and even like childhood toys, for example, you look at boys' toys, there's a lot more kind of engineering or high acumen things.
Have a kitchen or a baby.
Yeah, that I think that is sort of how it all stems from it. However, I do think it is changing now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good. I mean, you can definitely see more...
That are creepy that you have to look after.
Women in engineering, for example, is increasing, which is fantastic.
Yeah, we got some women at my place where there's engineering involved.
Exactly.
Finally.
And I think this is just proving the point that women are now getting more of a chance to be in high, powerful areas, which is what it should be. And everyone should have a fair, equal chance, but like I said, I'm pretty sure it's children's toys that ruin this whole beginning with.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think was probably designed by men now, think about it.
Yep. Keep the woman in the kitchen and the man on the field.
Yeah, sexist men causing all these problems, and they're very down deep. So if you get rid of the sexist men in children department...
Straight white men are the problem, Dan. We're fucking horrible, we are. We shouldn't have a podcast. We should
And Katie Hopkins as
outsource
well.
all
Don't
of-
forget Katie Hopkins.
Yes, that.
She is an honorary white man.
Yes, and that's why I identify as just man.
That is why I identify as a lizard.
Oh, that would have been better. I should have said attack helicopter. Damn it. I didn't want to go down
Apache-
the classic route of attack.
Apache attack helicopter.
Yes. Yes. We're making light of it, but it is still horrible that all of this happened. And please don't be sexist or racist to people. It's not good.
No,
Just treat people with some respect.
don't discriminate.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make
Just-
fun of somebody, make fun of something for equality.
Yes. Or make fun of their shoes, because everyone can make fun of shoes.
Yes, or if they're an idiot.
Yeah. Or if
And
they're a
they deserve
gigantic
it.
piece of shit. Yeah.
So feel
Just
free to
find
make fun of the
commonality in what
sexist
we
actors
hate.
of people.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to a lighter topic.
Much, much lighter topic. So a fan has now come up with a Destiny 2 subclass concept for the upcoming Witch Queen expansion.
So this isn't a real one.
It is not a real thing, but it's rumored. So it's highly rumored there's going to be a green subclass of some kind.
Oh,
And
exciting.
other sort of rumors are it's going to be poison, decay, or something to do with hive. Because hive magic is dark. That's right. And we're going into Witch Queen, a very hive central expansion. So this new concept is called corruption.
Yes.
And they've come up with several ideas on how it could be used. And I just thought it was sort of interesting on how much detail this one guy's put in. He's put in all the different actual class screens.
Mm.
And when I first look at this, I thought it was real. There's so much
It
detail.
does look very impressive. I'll give him that. It does look like Destiny.
Yeah, this guy has been... He's not so much criticizes Bungie, but he gives Bungie advice on how they should proceed.
Ooh, I do like the Tormentor subclass for the Warlock.
Hunter.
It does look... Is that the Hunter?
Yeah, it says Tormentor.
Oh, yeah, the
so
Warlock.
the
I
Hunter
can't read
has
the
a
text
Tormentor
because I have
class.
to keep fucking closing this fucking disable my ad block. I disabled my ad block and then it keeps popping up because I haven't disabled my ad block. So I'm trying to just continuously hit that and get the thing to load. Because I'm not fucking disabling my ad block. I don't want ads.
Yes, I mean, this class does look very interesting. And if something like this was implemented, I would be very happy with it.
It does look very nice.
Yes.
I would
and
have to... If
maybe-
it breaks the game like the last one did, I would be annoyed. So hopefully he's
it
thought about
probably
that.
will at first time, because the trouble is to get everything balanced first time is very difficult, especially when you're adding in something new and big.
They just need to fucking have... Supers don't get drained by that fucking ice. It's so annoying. It cripples you in every other way. Just have an ability class so that you can just have it not affect your ability. For fucking sake. The Warlock has a fucking Sunslinger class. That should be effective against the ice because it should just melt it. The Void and the Arc one, yeah, sure, they can get affected. But fucking Sun... What's the fucking thing? What's it called again?
Solar.
Solar, yeah. Solar shouldn't be affected by the ice. It should be like a card game where you have things that are effective against... It should be Pokemon. The classic free fucking triangle of grass, fire, and water.
Well, it is. It actually is true, but it's only true within the same light elements. Which means because there's only one darkness, it's entirely unbalanced because there's nothing
Rock,
to
paper,
counter it.
scissors. You now need to add dynamite, Spock, and whatever the other one is. Lizard.
Yeah, lizard.
Rock,
So here's a
paper,
quick
lizard,
description
Spock.
of what the supers do for each one. Hunters have tormentors, giving them another roaming super and corrosive chains to whip their enemies. Titans are lancers, giving them the first ranged one and done super. The ability gets headshot kills with melee ability lance. And warlocks are Archimedes.
Alchemy.
That's a hard word to say. Letting them roam around like Nokris, shooting energy blasts, and also placing giant transmutation spheres on groups of enemies. So this is quite a cool concept.
The little symbols for the Warlock one look like Doctor Strange symbols, and I find that cool.
Well, at the bottom.
Yeah.
The hive
symbols.
symbols.
The actual... Yeah, the hive symbols. They look like Doctor... Because it's the circles with the things in the when he does his
Yes, I
magic.
suppose it is. But we will wait and see. I suppose we won't see anything to do with Witch Queen until next year.
No. It's meant to come out this year, wasn't it?
It was supposed to come out this year, but then pandemic happened, and then they were like, no, we
They've
actually
moved it,
need to
yeah.
delay this by 6 months.
Yeah. Which is good, because you don't want it to be broken.
No,
and
but
this
it
gives
also
them more
means that there may be quite a significant drop.
Yeah. But I'm sure they can add some stuff that they've already had worked Like if they're doing because
They
they're
just build the
adding
supers. Make all the supers, all the classes have a advanced.
or just trial run them. Just pop trial versions in. Just have it. There's a leak or something in the moon or whatever, and it's just spewing out this magical gas or something, and you can go and investigate it, and then you can just get the power for a brief amount of time.
Actually, what I do hope, I hope the Witch Queen doesn't follow the same route as Beyond Light. Whereas Beyond Light, the whole story was just getting the power, and I want the Witch Queen to be more based around actual Witch Queen.
Using the power.
Not using the power. If you think about the Taken King, that entire the new subclass was a side quest. It wasn't part of the main story at all.
No, the story for the Taken King was great.
And I'm hoping they do something similar. Just create this as a side quest after you completed the main quest. That would be fantastic. Make people want to play the game more. Yeah,
it was the one thing I hated about that was trying to get the fucking superpower, and I was just like, oh, it's just so annoying getting this. Like, I just don't want it. Because it kind of sucks being a warlock with it. Because it does I don't like the fucking power that you have. Because you just have a staff and you spray out like little projectiles that freeze enemies. And then you have to click it in to burst the ice. And it just doesn't feel good playing it. And it's just annoying.
Well, never know. You may get a corrupted.
I would enjoy
It's going to be something similar to this. This won't be too far off, I imagine.
Yeah.
Based on...
Anyway...
Yes, what this will be. But let's... I think that's enough of gaming news. But a topic we haven't talked about for a while is the Olympics. Now, I know the Olympics is over by the time this is coming out.
Yep. Have you watched any of it?
A little, here and there.
I've watched none. I don't even know how to watch it.
But there has been more Olympic catastrophes.
Catastrophes.
Shut up.
I said.
I bad speaking.
No one could read this visual pun that I put, but I put catastrophes because the Olympics is a sport where you get medals.
But there's no trophies.
Yeah, I know, that's why I said, because you get medals.
Anyway.
It's a shit pun, but I thought it was funny, so I changed it.
Well, let's go on to the first catastrophe that happened during the Olympics. There wasn't actually that many. We thought there'd be more than there was.
Oh, there's been a lot, but these are the ones that have happened.
I was not aware of that. I didn't think there was anything too bad. Oh, apart from people dying, well, not dying, but they kind of just made bike crashes and stuff.
Oh, there's been a lot of stuff that I haven't covered in this.
This is the stupid stuff.
Yeah, this is the stupid stuff that's funny to talk about, not the horrible stuff that
horrible, depressing stuff.
Yeah.
So the first one is that there's alleged equestrian sumo scare. So horse riders are saying there's a sumo wrestler statue that's scaring the horses.
Yes. So basically, it's like one of those horse shows where they run around and do all the fancy horse shit.
Dressage.
That's the one. And then there's this sumo statue on the course because they made the thing Asian inspired where it's got all of the cultural stuff. And then they had a sumo wrestler and he's crouched over with his hands like in a pose and his ass is out and he's got his little wedgie thing on. And it's right next to one of the gates. Or like one of the jumps and whatnot.
Gate's the right word.
Yeah. And then a lot of the horses kept turning away before they did the jump, which then resulted in a lot of people not getting in to the Olympic qualifying for gold, bronze, and silver.
Because the horses were just, no, I don't want to be part
their
of this
horses
thing.
were scared
What is this
of this
statue doing here? It's just not normal. Get away from
basically, this is a quote. As you come around, you see a big guy's brackets, but British writer Harry Charles said, there's a lot to look at, Ireland's C.N. O'Connor added. It's very realistic, echoed Israeli's Teddy Vlock. There's... Basically, it's just that a lot of horses were scared, so they had to remove it, and then a lot of horses weren't scared and could actually do the thing. So I imagine a lot of people are pissed off because they're like, well, this is Olympics, and I've now missed out on the chance to get a gold medal because your stupid fucking sumo wrestler scared my horse. And so they had to. Some of the people got their horse to walk near it before the race or the actual course,
just to get used to it.
Before they see this giant fucking statue of a sumo wrestler.
It's very.
I just found that fun. Yeah. But yeah, it's just funny that's a thing that happened.
It's almost as stupid. Olympians biting their gold medals amid COVID pandemic.
The mayor.
No, the mayor's angry about it.
No, the mayor.
Oh,
is
the mayor
one
did
who
it.
did it. Yeah, the mayor
I
is the one
misread
who's...
this. I completely misread this. So the mayor
So, Dad,
started biting COVID medals during the COVID pandemic.
you said COVID medals, not gold medals. This
Hey,
sentence has confused the fuck out.
Just saying, those medals probably have COVID on them, all right?
So basically, a Japanese mayor sparks controversy by biting gold medals, is what you meant to say.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. So basically, after having, mayor. Oh God, I don't want to fucking.
Go on.
Takashi
Don't be shy.
Kawamura, outrageous. Basically, this dude was one of those. He was in front of a bunch of signage that had COVID. Like don't touch, don't like wear a mask. All
Don't
of
put
that.
your fingers in your mouth.
Yeah. And he was like one of the people who was like pushing that sort of stuff in Japan, to like stop people from doing it. And then he takes this gold medal winners, because it's a tradition for Olympians to bite their gold medals, because
To show it's gold, not chocolate.
Yeah, because basically when you bite into gold, it leaves an indent
Because it's so
because
soft.
gold. Yeah. Which would then make you believe that it's chocolate. So the logic on that is weird, but it's a tradition. Olympians, there's loads of photos of Olympians doing it from previous Olympics and all of that stuff. And so this dude, during a pandemic, basically took this lady's gold medal, this softball pitcher Miyao Goto, and basically bit into her medal. And during a pandemic, and it's like not a great look.
No, it's not. You are right there. Idiots.
This thing that you... Yeah.
Japan should have never hosted the Olympics this year.
Yeah, this lady was not happy as well. She said, I handled my medal very carefully so that it won't get scratched. The fact that Goto maintained her composure and didn't get angry was incredible.
I would have slapped him.
Cried.
It's so much funnier.
Yeah.
Just slap the mayor. Why are you biting my medal?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a funny thing that this dude who was like pushing the don't spread COVID message then went and bit a medal that wasn't his during a moment where he could have caught COVID. So
He probably did, let's be honest. Or just put COVID on the medal. It is likely. We are in a pandemic, like I said.
yeah. Like also the gold medals aren't full gold. They got like something in the middle of them. It's gold plated.
I imagine
So it's
that's
like
just because gold's too expensive.
The only one that's actually fully of the thing it is silver.
That makes sense.
Silver is the only one that's actually silver. Bronze is copper, I think. And then gold is gold plated.
Once again, I think it makes sense because of how expensive bronze is and gold is.
Yeah.
Silver's actually quite cheap.
Yeah. So the only one that's actually silver, like the actual worth actually getting, if you want to get the full value of it, is silver. If you want the more
really, you want to come second in the Olympics? First the worst, second the best.
Well, you want, yeah. So that's why it is, because you actually get what your medal is made of if you go for the silver medal.
It's like, why did you bottle it at the end? No, see, I wanted to come second so I could sell my medal. It's worth
So I can melt it down and make some spoons.
But why would you have a silver spoon?
Because you have a silver spoon stuck up your ass.
But why would you want to do that?
Because it's people who are stuck up bitches. Anyway.
Yes,
let's
okay.
move on.
That's the Olympics. Over and done with for another 3 years. Because I doubt we'll cover the Winter Olympics. Because who cares about that one?
Also the Paralympics. Dan doesn't give a shit about them.
I can't say that.
Don't worry, I said it for you. It's fine.
Thanks.
It's on a medium now.
I hope Team GB do well in the Paralympics.
So do I.
And I care as much about the Paralympics as I do the normal Olympics.
I like The Last Leg, which is a show about the Paralympics that I think doesn't happen or happens now more than the Paralympics.
Okay.
It
let's go on to tech time and science
ages.
shenanigans.
Yes.
Because that's waffling and we can't be done with that anymore. And we're going to go off with this very interesting science story of a New York Post Dubai making its own rain to beat 120-degree heat.
You don't need to say the New York Post. That's the fucking website.
Why has that happened? I was so confused about that. I was so confused about that sentence. I was like, New York Post? New York Post Dubai? I was like, is New York just posting Dubai? Is this something?
No, so Dubai is making its own rain to beat the 120-degree heat. Basically, they're shooting lasers into clouds.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah.
But it is cool,
I mean, that's cool. Yeah.
Maybe this is how we defeat all the get rid of all the forest fires.
So basically, drones are used to shoot electrical charges into clouds, causing them to clump together and trigger more rainfall. So yeah, drones, man. What the future is always drones. And they shoot little lasers into the sky to clump all the clouds together.
Drones are
and
the
then
way.
They fucking... Yeah. And then, as we all know, once clouds form and they get more and more compacted together and denser, all that rain that's stored in them, because they're all just water vapor at this point, basically can fall.
Yeah, I suppose it's a very clever way. I don't know if this has been patented. Probably has. It's a cool idea. I don't know if it's actually successful, how successful it is, how much money it costs.
Well, there's video, and they have rain. So
you do have
it
rain,
worked.
but I imagine you still need clouds.
Well, that's what it does. It makes all the clouds form together.
Oh,
so
okay.
Just basically, yeah, so that's what it's doing. It's shooting ion emissions that then positively and negatively charge all the stuff so it comes together.
Yeah.
And then the charging, the coalescence, the evaporation and the growth and the explosion, which is the waterfall.
Yes, because I definitely, and all our audience know exactly how rain forms in a cloud.
Well, you should have been paying attention during your geography classes where they tell you
I didn't
about
take
the
geography.
water cycle. You haven't done the water cycle? That's like grade... That's like...
Oh no, I've never done
Year
water
7.
cycle, but I don't know how the rain actually forms in a cloud. How the science
Oh, neither do
works.
I.
Yeah.
Oh, neither do I. But I know about the water cycle, so I know water go up in the air and then come back down.
Yes, I mean, I think everyone knows about that one. Mind you, some people don't know who Hitler is, so you never know.
He's a fun man with a funny mustache.
And talking about things that you hate, South Korean toilet turns excrement into power and digital currency.
Yes. So a South Korean ULSAN, which I think is a university in South Korea, are using human waste to help power their building, and you can use the money that you get from it to buy coffee, buy your bananas at the university. So basically, when you take a dump, you can use that to get converted into a currency, and that currency is only available at that university. So it's not a real
That's a shame.
cryptocurrency.
Why can't you have cryptocurrency? How much cooler would it be? Every time you go for a poo, you generate cryptocurrency.
That may happen. The BVI toilet, a portmanteau of the world's Bee Envision, uses a vacuum pump to send feces into an underground tank, reducing water use. The microorganisms break down the waste to methane, which becomes the source of energy for the building, powering a gas stove, hot water boiler, and solid oxidized fuel cell. And yeah, an average person defecates about 500 grams a day, which can be converted to 50 liters of methane gas, the environmental engineer said. The gas can generate 0.5 kWh of electricity or be used to drive a car for about 1.2 kilometers or 0.75 miles.
So, if we get the poo of everyone on Earth, we can generate 3.5 billion kilowatt hours of electricity.
Probably.
That's a big number.
Yes. And that is a lot of shit.
But how much electricity does the human race use in a day?
Oh, a lot, probably. But yeah, students can use the currency that they... So basically, which means honey in Korea, is Cho, has devised a virtual currency called Gugol, GGOOL, which means honey in Korea. Each person using the eco-friendly toilet earns 10 GGOOL a day. And students can use that currency to buy goods on campus, from freshly brewed coffee to instant cup noodles, fruits and books. The students can pick up the products they want at a shop and scan a QR code to pay with the GGOOL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, poo is now a power.
Shit money.
It is. I mean, I know dirty money's a thing, but I think this is getting a bit extreme.
Imagine if Pablo Escobar had to use this money when he was...
That's where he
he'd
kept
just
all his
have-
money. He didn't keep it as money, he kept it as feces.
Yeah. Like, that's why it got... That's the story that he had to buy so many elastic bands. Like, he spent like $10 million a month or whatever it was on elastic bands. And,
I couldn't
rats
tell
ate
you.
so
Never
much-
heard of that fact before.
Yeah, there's some weird facts about how much money that dude had. Like, rats apparently ate so much of his money, and he burnt like
I did
huge
hear
amounts
that
of.
one. Yes.
He also burnt a load of money to keep his daughter warm at night, like huge piles of cash
He had
just to
too
keep
much
his
money.
daughter.
Funny thing is, if you actually
Yeah.
burn money, it makes it more valuable.
Yeah, probably. I know how economics works.
Well, no, it's because if every pound you take out of circulation, it makes it more valuable, for example. Because it means there's
Yes.
less pounds to be spread. So the amount of budget that gets spread between all the pounds makes each pound get worth slightly more
Yes.
for everyone you take out, which is what governments do. They when they change their money over, and it's a way of actually getting all that money back in and then distributing less of it out to make it more valuable.
And speaking of less, Dan, let's move on to Firefox. Has lost 46 million users over the last 3 years.
But I've gained Firefox. I've started using it.
Only because Google messes up your audio.
Yes, that is exactly why I don't use Google.
Yes. So sad. I've never used Firefox in my life. And if I have, it's because it was installed somewhere and I used it immediately to download Google.
I mean, I like Firefox. There's nothing wrong with Firefox. Apart from the logo.
I don't have a problem
They want to
with
get
it.
rid of the fox.
No, what the fuck's wrong with them? That's the only thing that's
I
cool
know.
about it.
That's the reason why they're losing it. The fox.
Yeah, I mean, Google's logo sucks. It's just a circle.
I
with some
believe it's meant to be the
line.
world.
I'm sure it is, but they kept changing it, so it's shit. And I hate the fact that Google tries to make every single one of their logos the same thing. It's so annoying.
Yes, the new Firefox logo doesn't have the fox head. It's just got the tail.
So it's
It
just
pretty
tail
much looks like
fox.
Edge.
Yeah,
But just
I don't.
Firefox color scheme.
Yeah. Oh well, sucks for them, but who knows?
I mean, at the end of the day, Edge and Chrome, I think, are the two biggest ones.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think Edge. I don't think.
No, Edge is
Edge is-
popular because of businesses and stuff. A lot of businesses use Edge. I know people who still use Internet Explorer. Is Internet Explorer still
Yeah.
installed on machines? I don't actually know. It is.
Who knows?
Internet Explorer is still installed. I didn't actually realize it is.
It's shutting down soon, isn't it? It's meant to be.
It
shutting
should
down by
be.
the end
It's
of the-
terrible. If you go onto it, it actually just says install Edge, please.
Yeah.
Because who wants
Um,
to support Internet Explorer? It's a terrible search engine.
Yeah. Oh well. And speaking of things that have lost their titles, because I guess Firefox had a title at some point.
Probably, I don't
Being-
know. I mean, they're toppled. They've lost 46 million users, so they've been toppled.
Yeah. How many do they have though? 'Cause-
Still a lot.
well, whatever. Probably. 46 million is a lot though. But anyway, Xiaomi. Is it Xiaomi? Xiaomi topples Samsung to become the world's biggest smartphone brand.
By market share.
Yes. So, hey, look at that.
That's actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
Based on the fact Xiaomi do not advertise.
I've very rarely ever heard of them.
Exactly, it's my point. They sell the most phones now. Or they have the most phones in circulations.
But don't they have a load of brands underneath that people would have heard of? Or is it just...
Yes, but probably not what they've heard of. It's not same as OnePlus. So OnePlus are under something called like BKB,
Yeah.
if I remember, and that shares there's like 7 different brands, like big brands like OnePlus, Oppo, several other ones.
Yeah.
Xiaomi don't really have brands under it; they just have models. So they have
Yeah.
Redmi, Mi, Poco. Those are the ones
Yeah.
people might have heard of. Funny enough,
Something
I've just bought a Xiaomi phone
Oh, cool.
because of their cheap prices. At the end of the day, Xiaomi is so much cheaper than Samsung and Apple, but you get the same quality.
Depends on the phone, I keep telling you.
Well,
For
no,
Samsung.
it's true. Like, even for whatever the price is, it's still better value. The only thing different is the software. If you're just so much more of a fan of the Apple or Samsung UI, you want Apple or Samsung. But if you're not fussed about the UI,
Oh, no. But it's not Android, is it?
yeah,
Oh, is it? Oh,
it's
wait,
only
which one's the
Huawei
one
that got shut down from Google
Yeah,
services.
Huawei.
Xiaomi
Yeah.
still have full access to Google. That's why their market share has gone back up so much more. They've taken all the Huawei users.
Yeah. Also, apparently this is it's just a decade-old company and is said to have topped the 800 million smartphone shipment mark.
It is incredible by how much they've actually done without advertising.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Just word of mouth. And I imagine Xiaomi is going to keep growing.
Yeah, it's mainly because it's in China and Samsung doesn't have a major share in China.
No,
Well,
but
neither does
I
Apple.
think Xiaomi's now third in Europe.
Yeah.
Top
I
3
mean,
brands.
good. Hey, good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Xiaomi are going to keep growing. I don't think they're going to stop.
As long as they don't do the Huawei thing and get ruined by the American government.
I think that's mainly
Yeah,
because
British
Huawei got so close to the government in China, where Xiaomi's a bit not so close to the government at all.
Well, that can change.
It could change, but Xiaomi's got a different business model to Huawei.
Yes. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is all of the news.
Yes.
I don't have anything to recommend do or recommend don't, so...
No, only thing I could possibly say to recommend is Lucifer. Just
Suicide
finished
Squad?
watching season 5.
I guess I could say I recommend the Suicide Squad.
I'd recommend that too. Also, plug. Check out last week's Suicide Squad episode.
Yes, or the other one, which was also Suicide Squad. But the old one. The one that everyone hates. We did both because we hadn't watched the old one in a while and we wanted to watch the new one rewatching the old one. So we did both.
Quick spoiler, the new one's better than the old one.
Shocking.
Who would have thought?
Anyway, we'll see you next week for another look at the news and shit.
Yes, great way of summarizing our podcast.
Well, we just talked about shit for like 5 minutes.
That is true. That is fair enough. Fair enough. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one. Bye.